Good morning, gamers! We're back with another PoE 2 build. This one is a Deadeye with, I don't know, a variety of arrow skills. Pretty much have tried almost all of them throughout the campaign. I used a majority of lightning rod and lightning arrow combos for bosses with a little bit of magnetic salvo. I'll go ahead and run just some quick campaign clips, boss montage, I guess, and yeah, be back to talk about the build.
I promise. No need this time. I'll remove your head myself. Many have you got? First one's iron. Charge arrow. Run, little rabbit. First dawn's frost. That will not go unpunished. Oriana, open the cage. Release the beast. Give me what you promised. I think so. I need so much more from you. Since you are too weak to do the job. You manipulative whore! How dare you abandon me after all I've given you! Freezing gale! You are hunted. Fang, tooth, and claw. Tortured under the moon. The pack suffered but endured. And howled now in tune. No tales were told. None new, none old. And their endless hunger grew ever stronger. Iron, flesh and bone. Insane? Perhaps that is true. It's predictable. The time of the Paladin is nigh.
Fury! The fool under the hooded one's sway. Do you even know what he is? No matter. You'll find my king far more capable than Count Gianor. My king, take the power you were promised. Put an end to this nuisance.
The second good. Bow before your king.
The Medicate must submit! We're running out of time. End this!
My queen, take the beast.
Need more time. I need more mana.
I don't have time for this. Stand. Bend to my will. Impede my enemy. Born of hate. We will blot out the sun. The Malekith will pay. Hate will grind you into dust. Die, Ulasakama!
Where did you come from? That would only slow me down.
My sons begged me to keep you as their new pet. I think I should have the first
I
take.
think not. Thunderous shot! I need more mana. I just did the work.
Your flesh!
Can't kill what you can't catch.
That will return!
A true will lose its mind. Eventually.
Vile ingenuity never ceases to amaze me.
So, at the eve of the end, the doom of Hatsuatl has finally come for me.
So be it.
I must save my people.
You know why we're here! It happened! It cannot be stopped!
No, I will succeed.
Then you've abandoned.
I cannot let my efforts be in vain. You think... What? How? Get up! Get up! I will burn you alive. No! Do not fail me. Not now! How could this happen? All I've done.
All right, so basically, I leveled with bows the whole way. Let's just go ahead and go into the passives here. This is pretty rough. I just did this completely on a whim. You know, started here, get the projectile nodes, get some attack speed, and then going here for more proj damage. And then eventually I took, once I got my damage a little higher, I went to Vile Wounds just to get more ailments, and then later on, like maybe level 30 or 40, I got the Eagle Eye just to be sure I wasn't missing, because I did feel like I was inaccurate at some point. And then moving here, get the quiver bonuses. I did have a Widow Hail for like the first, I don't know, 10 levels, so this probably helped out a lot with damage, but then I just replaced it with just a rare bow with damage on it. And then yeah, pathing down here into the long shot area, just more. You could probably go either path. These are both fine. I just didn't want to really be in melee range that often. And but yeah, went basically down here, get some more attack damage on the way, get a jewel socket, and then yeah, get the bow wheel. I didn't actually have that much proj speed when I clicked on this, maybe like a little bit from maybe up here, yeah, like 8%. Yeah, so that node effectively becomes like 16% increased projectile damage, but if you have it on your quiver, it then gets multiplied further by the increased bonuses. So it ends up being, this is like 60, 80% more of the effect of that mod, so a little bit better of a damage roll on a quiver. I don't think I have or had a projectile speed quiver, but that would be a good thing to look out for. And then once I got here, I wasn't really sure what to do with the tree, so I kind of just traveled up here into the crit damage and crit chance nodes, because these also give you some stats really early on, so it's pretty nice for that. Gives you base critical chance. And then of course taking the Herald stuff. I feel like this node is probably one of the strongest nodes for like any attack build in the game, especially if you're lightning based, because you know it's just 50% damage or increased damage. And then also I wouldn't benefit from the first line for Herald of Ice because I'd never used it, but it took too much int, but I could have used it and this would have been good for like using Ice Shot, or just if I had like cold on my bow or something, it would be a good. And then once I got this area, I kind of was like looking for stuff to get that would be interesting. I basically just wanted damage. So yeah, I clicked on these guys just to get more increase Ellie with attacks. And then I saw this node down here, which I honestly should have rushed this probably first. It felt very good. If you don't know what Lucky does, this basically means it rolls the damage 2 times and it will pick the higher number. And the way lightning damage works is that it's normally like a really low number and then a really high number. So your damage range might be like 1 to 1,000, you know, and it's very unpredictable. So you could hit a 1, you could hit a 900, but this node seemed really good once I clicked on it, and my damage was really consistent. For one node, you know, if you're going to path down here anyway, These aren't terrible. They're just like lightning damage, generic. And there is some, you know, chance to shock, pen. These are pretty good. These are also pretty good. I might want to, where is it? This one, no. I don't remember where it was. Maybe it wasn't in this cluster, but yeah, this area feels okay for damage because you can also path down here and there's attack speed right here. And then if you really wanted to continue this path, you can go like more projectile damage plus like chain, I guess. Oh yeah, this wheel is pretty good too. I was going to go down here. Just like, these are probably the most effective clicks for damage, but they only work on uniques, which are in rares. But that's really only the thing that matters. Like, normal mobs and blue mobs like don't really matter because they die so quickly with this setup. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna fill this section out, and then there's also like some attack speed here. It's like 3, 3, and then 10 for 4 points. So it's a little like 4-ish% per point, which I don't think is that bad. And you also get some blind chance, which I don't think I already have. So it could be fine to get that section. There's not that much attack speed on the tree as it is, and these are pretty much the values that you can expect, about 4% per point. There's also another section here that I wanted to get eventually, which is like attack speed per accuracy rating, which could be quite powerful. You get, you know, 2500 accuracy, 10% attack speed right there. So that becomes pretty effective because these are also just attack damage and accuracy nodes. And this is infinite scaling, so it's a no-brainer. And yeah, just started pathing over here, get some more dex, get some more evasion, and that is where we currently sit at level 64. We just killed the final boss of Act 3 Cruel, so we're gonna look to jump into maps. I'll probably make some tweaks once I start dying, because I have literally no defensive nodes except for this 4 things right here. So, but yeah, let's jump into the skills here. I kind of was all over the place with my gems and wanted to try a bunch of stuff out, but here's where we landed. We have Lightning Arrow with four sockets. I did minus cost because it was really annoying to shoot this. Like, it costs 43 mana, but only 31 with the less cost. If I got mana on kill, I'd probably just change this out because it's only really good for just like running around mapping and killing trash. And then yeah, 25 is extra. This is just like one of the best support gems for a single element build. And then yeah, more attack speed and long shot. So we're trying to be very far away. As you can see, we got far shot. The way I ascended is I got Tailwind first because this helps you run through the campaign faster by 10%, and it also gives you a ton of skill speed, which is basically action speed from PoE 1, if you remember that. So just everything you do, if you get 3% attack speed and then 3% skill speed, they're in separate pools. So it ends up being, you know, like, I don't know, 7 or 8% effective attack speed at that point. So this is a very good buff to maintain. And it also gives you some evasion. So I was pretty much never dying in the campaign. You can see it's like 17 hours and I died 10 times. Most of those were to bosses because I tried to set up like a one-shot clip on them and I got clapped. But yeah, this is a very good first ascend in my opinion. And then the next one I got from the second lab was far shot. So if you hit something from far away, you do 20% more damage, and it's 7 meters to reach that maximum damage. And then for my next one, I'm just going to go with Endless Munitions to get an additional projectile, since this will just make every skill feel better and just give you a little bit more damage on clearing stuff because right now I only shoot one projectile with lightning arrow. And if I end up doing the last one, I'll probably just do the less damage per tailwind. It's like 30% less damage. Of course, it only works on one hit, but it's still kind of crazy. If you think about that, that's like Fortify from PoE 1 just for one hit. You could probably just tank a slam. This might be like one of the most tanky classes just because of this, and it's like pseudo tanky because of that and evasion. But yeah, not even res capped. You know, I probably had the same. I had most of the same items on the entire campaign, just blasting through with lightning arrow. But yeah. So this is lightning arrow. I have had no problems with this skill throughout the campaign. Pretty much, you know, you get this at level 1, it starts doing its job, has a nice built-in, you know, beam count, beam chain, clear out like trash mobs and get you a little more AoE clear. You get lightning rod really early. This skill is really cool. So you pop down these little spikes in the ground, and then if you shoot an enemy with the lightning arrow, it will chain to these rods in the ground, and then the rods will then, you know, have a little AoE burst of lightning damage. And this is what I use for most of bossing until, I mean, I even still use it now. This is just a really good skill, just extra damage for free. And I linked this eventually to shock, more LE damage, and then lightning exposure. So it turned into more so a utility skill rather than a DPS skill, but you can pretty much run, I think I was running the skill gem where you shoot 2 times scatter shot, you shoot 2 more prods just for more coverage. I feel like this is a bait pretty early on though, because like 20 less damage early on really hurts. I tried out Ice Shot. It was okay. I put most of my points into like lightning damage anyway, so this eventually just didn't do that well, but it was okay. Like, I don't know, these links don't matter. I was trying a bunch of stuff out. If I were to redo this and do only Ice Shot, I would have to do different tree, because this skill doesn't even compare. Like, raw hit numbers, it's like, even if I were to put the best supports in here, it wouldn't even be close. I think Ice Shot needs a little more, like 212 added attack damage versus 240. It just doesn't compare numbers wise at all. You're losing like 30, 38 of the effective damage. So yeah, not the greatest bossing skill either, because there's no like chain potential with the lightning rods. So maybe once we get more cold stuff, we might have a build with this that could be good, but I wasn't a fan throughout the campaign of this. Once I got Magnetic Salvo, as you probably saw in those clips, this skill is pretty ridiculous. What it does is it targets the lightning rods in the ground or shocked enemies, I believe, or other arrows that are stuck in enemies, but I didn't use those. So you pop down up to 16 of these lightning rods, put them all over the place, and you put your salvo, and it shoots up to 16 of them at once. So this was a really big burst damage skill that I was using, and the average hit was, 5,400 damage times 16 times all your other multipliers. So this was pretty good for like really big bursts if you got to kill a tough enemy like a boss or some tanky rare guy. I got heft in here for maximum fizz, and I guess this does change the max lightning, because this happens before the conversion. So you can see my max lightning going up from this by like 300. I don't know if this is the best link, but I just put it in, haven't changed it. And then I put in Hourglass because this is the highest damage support probably in the game. If you look at just raw, like like 40% more is equivalent to like the one that like reduces the area. I forgot what it's called, but it reduces area by like half, and then it gives it 40% more area damage. But I couldn't really use that on this because like the skill isn't that large to begin with, and I needed to put 40% more in it so I could like reliably hit those multiple lightning arrows on small bosses. For big bosses, they just get clapped. Like one hit, you hit all 16 arrows instantly. But I found this was more consistent. This skill was pretty fun to use, Freezing Salvo. I had Hourglass on this for a while, but I eventually stopped using this. What this does is just it accumulates like up to 12 of these missiles, and then you just push it, and it shoots all of them in a nice AoE. And when I was doing the campaign, I had this setup here, so I had 40% more area and 40% more damage. So it had some pretty good overlap potential on just, I used it mostly for rares, or like it was a sometimes button. So it's like this with like the cooldown, because it didn't really accumulate the charges anyway. So like on a boss, I'd be running around dodging stuff. You know, the boss would do an attack, I'd shoot it with my cooldown skill, go back to shooting, and then repeat. It was just a nice button to press that was reliably high damage. So this skill is pretty cool for just like also freezing stuff. Sniper's Mark I almost never press because this is just like not automated and I was lazy. Same with Barrage. I just kind of had this in here because it was funny. Like you could just pop Barrage and then shoot like 3 lightning arrows really quick. It's one of those sometimes buttons that I never really, prioritized. And then for the Spirit Auras, we got Wind Dancer, which basically makes you very, very evasive. You get 18% more evasion per stage, 3 stages. So my evasion with this is 64, and without we have 51. So it gives you a lot more evasion rating. And then it also has this knockback effect, which procs if you get hit, because you lose all your buffs if you get hit. So I attach that to maim and blind. So if I do get hit, I blind everything, I maim everything. There's almost no chance you can get shotgunned, since you'll get hit once, everything will get thrown back, blinded, slowed, and then you have plenty of time to either kill it or just dodge roll, run away, whatever. And then yeah, Herald of Thunder, last aura I had this on since I could possibly equip it. Linked that to mana regen and life on kill and accuracy. I would put in Herald of Ice, I think, since I do have a little bit of cold damage. I don't think that's enough to like reliably freeze anything, but Herald of Ice is very cool and it looks nice. So that's pretty much the skills. Let's go ahead and go into the gear. I don't think I've changed much for a while. Let's go look at my stash here. Go look at my bows. Yeah, I just started off having basic ones with like socketed lightning runes, storm runes. So all you really need early is flat damage, whether that be flat lightning, flat cold, flat fire. It really doesn't matter what the flat element is. I just highly prefer lightning always because you can apply shock. And of course you want just the highest physical damage roll you can, since it converts it to elemental with your, whatever skill you're using. Ice shot, lightning arrow, all of it uses lightning conversion or cold conversion. My next bow, I think, was this one, level 28. Just more flat elemental damage. And I've had this bow on since level 48, and I haven't seen or found a better upgrade yet. It's just a really big, flat physical amount, and then a little bit of added lightning with the 2 sockets, and also the +3 is kind of huge. Plus to crit chance is kind of huge. You know, life on kills, whatever, because I have 4%, but this bow is pretty crazy, and it's not even like at my current level of base, so there's plenty of upgrades to get. I'm looking for another massive percent physical increase, maybe some flat elemental. The projectile skills is pretty good. You know, stuff like that. What do you look for in a bow? Just flat damage, good. If it has more damage, it's usually an upgrade. This helmet I've had on since, like, I don't know, Act 2. Had this on since level 33. Just gives me a lot of HP. This is one of my favorite leveling chests, I think. Just a lot of HP, a lot of evasion. Just really good early on. It's like I wore Ghost Wreath until I could put this on, and then, you know, I'll look for another big evasion chest eventually. Amulet's just some pile of stats. You know, got some attributes, got some max life, whatever. Ring, just a bunch of flat stuff. I did actually find this or crafted this somehow. I don't remember, but just a lot of flat lightning on this. And this is just a pile of garbage. We got some rarity. We got fire res. Yeah, that's about it. Quiver is just flat projectile skills and a little bit of crit, some attack speed. I did want a primed quiver for the majority of the game. I just like attack speed. It makes the smoothness feel better. Gloves, yeah, these are just, again, flat damage. You can either do flat lightning, flat fizz, or both in this case. I prefer life on these, but I had no issues with damage, so I'll probably just look at replacing these with something I find in maps. And I've literally equipped this belt. I had this on since like probably level 2 when I had access to my stash in town. Like, I just put this on because it's, I don't know, what's 48 strength? How much life does this give you? Like 90? Yeah, 96 life. So I find this is just a funny item to put on level 1 because you're tripling your health pool. Look to put on some other belt in the future, I guess. I'll have to fix my strength, and that'll be annoying, but whatever. Works for now. And then just boots, movement speed, a little bit of res, nothing special. Yep. And that is the build. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.